Hey, what is going on, everybody on the internet? My name is Josh, and welcome to another Let's Listen here on Bonus Stage. This week, we are featuring the VGM CON Sunshine Resort Album Jam Volume 4 in support of P Fund Foundation. I don't know, that's like the most long winded album title I've had on the show, I'm pretty sure. But speaking of long winded, I've got Ian Martin here. I couldn't help it, man. The segues,
No,
they
no,
just
it's
write
good.
themselves.
You know
No.
me.
Anyways, no, whether he speaks or not, we're glad to have him, Ian Martin here, as well as VRON Media. But how are you both doing tonight?
Doing great, thanks.
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Just had to break it out on a lull. All right. Yeah. Well, this is the fourth album jam that VGM Con has done for the uninitiated. This is an album jam that happens every year, organized by VGM Con. I think this year, like Ian, you yourself have had your hands on the reins a little bit more. But the basic gist of this is that it's an open call. Anybody who wants to submit songs can do so. The only stipulation is that these songs are arranged, recorded, and submitted within a 72-hour period, which is quite a tall order. But nevertheless, there's been some incredible results, many of which we will be hearing tonight. Some that have been on previous years as well. Ian, do you want to kick us off and tell us a little bit more about your involvement in it this year?
Sure, yeah. So I've been submitting to every single one of these albums, but last year, Viron and I both kind of got involved on an organizational level. So just kind of taking over the producer duties for that and putting it out. So this is sort of our second year doing that together, right? And also off of last year, we kind of spun that off into the Speed Drammers group, which I know you love to comment on, Josh, right? Which neither of us realized at the time when we were naming it. But anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. But no, this is something. This is a highlight of the year for me every time. We've gotten it down to sort of this thing where we go back and forth. It's like, okay, so Viron's gonna make the like slide deck of all the rules, and I'll do the forms, and um, it kind of, we're getting it down to that point where it just kind of runs smoothly, which is sort of the thing. We're still, of course, we're learning. It's a learning experience. This year was a lot bigger than previous years too. We made the decision, instead of in previous years it would run at the same time as the con. And we noticed that last year a lot of people were saying that they wanted, they were like, well, I wanted to join in, but I can't because I'm at the con. I don't have a way to record. I didn't want to bring a recording setup or a microphone, whatever. Totally understandable. The con doesn't, they had some recording booths, but they don't have like recording equipment. So that sort of limited things. So we made the decision this year to run this album jam 2 weekends before the con started. So that way it would give people the opportunity who were, whether you were going to the con in person or not, you could have the opportunity to arrange, record, however you wanted to participate, right, in this album jam. So and it turned out well. We ended up with 18 tracks and an hour of music, which was way more than we had actually hoped for, right? So yeah, here we are now, and now you're all gonna listen to it.
Yeah, I think I remember last year at VGM Con, I was hanging out with Ranja, and he was like trying to get all his stuff together in his hotel room with like a trombone and a laptop and microphones and all this stuff. And I was like, would there's stuff going on outside of your hotel room. Wouldn't you rather be out there like and enjoying yourself? So definitely, I think that was a great move for you guys to just kind of like move it off of the weekend, because if I remember correctly, this whole concept was a little bit born out of the pandemic, and like a way for the musicians to still gather and participate in something and to make something meaningful. yeah, so
Yeah.
that's really smart. And the other awesome thing about the whole project generally is that it's always to support a charity. And this year, I believe VGM Con has been supporting the P Fund Foundation. We got a chance to talk with one of the representatives over on the Warp stage, learning a little bit about what their endeavors are. Let me know if it's still the same campaign as they were doing during VGM Con. Is that correct? They had the Transcend campaign on.
Yes, I believe so. I believe it's still going to the same place.
Hmm.
So so yeah, they are still, and checking out their website, of course, they are still running the Transcend campaign. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is good news, of course. So
yeah, yeah. They're putting funds towards supporting trans youth in the little like 3 state or 5 state area, I believe it is, there in the Midwest, and that is going to support people who need to be relocated for gender affirming surgeries, or getting education in an environment that is not toxic and and nasty for them, of course. So that's definitely something that is worth supporting. And yeah, just lovely people
totally.
as well doing that. Yeah, Viron, what's your involvement been so far in the VGM Con album jam this year?
Um, I do most of the behind the scenes stuff, like Ian mentioned, getting the slides ready. We both do. We both kind of share responsibility of checking if tracks are licensable. Like I'll be like, "Hey, I know this one's licensable. Do you know about this one?" And he'll get back to me like, "Yeah, I know this one. What about this one?" And
Mm-hmm.
the system works that way. You never can tell if something gets approved or denied for no reason because licensing's weird like that. But we do the best we can with it, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I was happy to not be the only percussionist this year. So that was super exciting.
Not
Yeah.
pulling all the weight.
Yeah. I'm also really glad that we did it 2 weekends before because this year was my first year attending in person.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not have been able to participate as much as I have in the past if it had been the same weekend for sure. Plus, I wouldn't have had any instruments because you can't fly marimba. I mean, you could, but it'd be really hard and expensive. So it definitely worked out this way better.
I'm trying to picture you like trying to stuff a marimba in the overhead compartments or something.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah. Oh
And
man.
also noisy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it could be good. Who knows? You get like a turbulent solo. Oh, sorry, just making up goofy situations. It was lovely to meet you at VGM Con as well. Um,
Likewise, same here.
yeah. Oh, there's the toter in chat with some stats. Oh my God, P
Ooh.
Fund is currently at $19,558 of their $25,000 goal. That's incredible. Yeah, in terms of like this album and how that is supporting the P Fund, I believe that this album is set to release on streaming platforms. That is still pending. I know there's some backstage stuff with the licensing and things like that, but definitely watch for it. I'm sure that VGM Con will have some kind of announcement once it's put out there live for your listening pleasure. But we are going to be taking part in some listening pleasures tonight. Yeah, just before we move on, I'm really curious. Was there any like decision making, like, oh, like, I mean, you were talking about licensing tracks and stuff like that. Was there anything that you had to turn down? Was there anything that didn't make the cut?
I don't think there was this year. I know during Speed Jammers we had one last year that didn't quite make it. But I don't think there were any this year now.
Yeah.
Cool.
We decided, I think this was Viron, wasn't this your idea to have the when they did the proposals for the tracks to actually make everyone look up whether it was licensable? And I
Yeah.
think that really helped the process, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
then you're like, oh, maybe this isn't licensable, or I definitely found it and here it is.
Yeah, I think we had an option too. Like if you're not sure, reach out to us and ask, and we can look it
Yeah.
up.
Hmm.
Nice.
That way you can spend the 72 hours on the music and not the licensing part.
Yeah, which is the purpose, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My God, I could just imagine. Oh yeah, I spent 70 hours looking up for the North American release of this obscure RPG. Looking at you, Ian, and I
Yep.
have 2 hours to arrange and record the project. Oh my God. No, but that's great. We've got 18 tracks. Then that is again like a huge submission. Excellent success putting all of that together this year. Yeah, so we're gonna listen to 5 tracks to start off the listening party here. We've got Resident Services from Animal Crossing New Horizons by Stephen Hewitt and Ika Tonko. Let's watch a video from Viron Media, New Beginning from Persona 5. Then we've got Tsuki no Akari, which is a take on the theme of love from Final Fantasy IV. That's by Xavier Goines or Goinez. No
Yeah,
correction
yeah.
there?
I think
Okay,
so.
all right,
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Yeah, I think Goines. Yeah, I
All
think
right,
so.
cool. And then, hey, we've got some bonus stage staples with Nada Existe presenting their chiptune cover of Corridors of Time from Chrono Trigger. And then we are also going to listen to another one by Viron Media, that being Behind Closed Doors from Final Fantasy 14. Ian, Viron, you know what's going on. Let's
Listen.
Listen.
君の名前心でつぶやいたこの僕の想いはそこに届かないのに今はどこへ愛しい面影がこの夜空に浮かぶ瞳閉じたも共に笑えてた穏やかな日々が心に今の暖かく月の明かり青い夜に光るあの日々の輝き照らし出す君の涙拭けたまで消すこの僕の両手はここで震えてるだけ今は一人終わりのない旅路疲れたこの足がさまようばかり共に過ごした日惚れたぬくもりがこの手に今も暖かく月の明かりただ静かに照らす錆びついたこの胸かき乱すように月の明かりただ静かに照らす錆びついたこの胸かき乱すように月の明かり青い夜に光る
Beautiful. Oh man, I'm snug as a bug listening to that. Oh man, we had quite a block there. Lots of good music. Lots of good takes on classic songs and some less classic songs, but all beautiful, all the same. Viran, you were featured prominently in that block. Love to see the video production as well. That's always a nice touch. But you had some guest musicians there, of course, not just yourself. Who would you like to shout out on your songs there? You had New Beginning from Persona 5 as well as Behind Closed Doors from Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Ian and Sable especially for the Persona arrangement playing on that. I've been putting a lot of time into Persona 5 Royal on the Switch, specifically just hit 130 hours. So I might know the music a little bit, just a little bit. And I knew I really wanted to arrange that song for the album jam, like even before it started. I was like, I'm going to choose this song this year. And I kind of had the arrangement idea already in my head too. And then the other arrangement, the Final Fantasy arrangement, somebody recommended that song to me a long time ago, and I kind of forgot about it. And then we had a lot of woodwind players that were available the weekend, and they were like, somebody write us something to play for. And I was like, okay, sure. I'm a percussionist. I know how to write for, like, flute choir, sure. Because essentially what it was like marimba, glockenspiel, and then, like, flute choir with also clarinet and whistle. And I was like, sure, why not? Work on my arrangement skills a little bit, I guess. And it turned out all right, so I'm happy with how that went.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy too. So let me see where the lines are here. Is it cheating if you've like pre-selected a song for a 72 hour album jam?
I hope not.
All right.
I mean, I had it in my idea, and we let people start choosing songs the day before anyway, so hopefully not. Maybe it used to be, but as it evolves, maybe less, I guess.
Right. It sounds like the rules are in your hands, and so as long as you're happy to make those leniencies, that's totally cool. But yeah. I mean, like, did you still like get to the bulk of the work in the 72 hours? Like, what was it like putting those together?
Yeah, I didn't start arranging anything until the jam started, like at 9 p.m. is when I started.
As soon as the clock hits,
Yeah,
when you guys
pretty
like
much.
just all like in a Discord chat or something, like, oh, okay, all right, here we go.
Yeah,
What are you working
Ian
on?
and I were making Discord channels for each track, and I was also opening Finale at the same time to start working on it.
Oh my god, true multitasking.
Yeah, I also want to shout out briefly. I didn't arrange for the Animal Crossing track, Resident Services, but I did mix the track. So thank you to both of the arrangers for letting me mix that, as well as reminding me at like the last second that I forgot to make the radio intro, and I'm glad I put that in there because it's such a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know how to do that until I looked it up, like at the moment. I was like, oh wait, before I trade, let me look this up real quick, and it makes all the difference. So I'm really glad that worked out.
Yeah, it's a nice touch and a nice way to open the album as well. Just have something a little bit kitschy, just to like get you on your toes and get you ready for a quite an eclectic quite an eclectic group of tracks here.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. When we were trying to figure out the album order, I mean, we had so many tracks to like try and organize. I was like, the only thing I care about is that this is the opener. So that
Everything else can just be random, whatever. Just throw it into your local media player, hit shuffle, bam. It's
yeah,
decided.
but just the nice radio intro sitting by the beach, it works perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. And of course, the Resident Services, lovely. New Beginning, amazing. Tsuki no Akari, the theme of love from Final Fantasy IV. That one is nice. I mean, Final Fantasy IV is like the first RPG that I ever played. That one has a special place in my heart, and that theme
Same.
is just very emotional. And that was done really, really nicely. There was some woe in chat. I think that that the people involved were not here to talk about it. And then Nada Existe with their Corridors of Time, Chrono Trigger, another classic SNES RPG. Great soundtrack, great rendition from them as well. We've got another 4 tracks coming up here as well. We've got Blue Water, Blue Sky, Maze theme from Guilty Gear X2. That is by Platinum Azure, who is driving home from band practice. Hello, and awesome. Can't wait to hear this. We've got the Arcant Archipelago from Chained Echoes. Chained Echoes. Who could that be by, Ian?
Oh, I don't know.
I think you're on like a mission to cover every track from that from that game.
I am. Thank you. I am out there to push chained echoes into every pair of ears on this planet.
Wow. All right. Keep it
I won't
PG. Oh
succeed,
my
but
god.
I'll try. Anyway.
And then we've got main theme from Ori and the Blind Forest. Beautiful game, as rendered by Sable Providence and Stale Karma. I also see Stale Karma in chat. Hello. And then Mike and Katie Shesko, Down by the River from Baldur's Gate 3. They're backstage as well, and we'll get a chance to talk to them after hearing their track. But while Platinum Azure is still in the car, presumably on the road, not dead yet, I believe, Ian, you had a little blurb from them about this upcoming track
Yeah.
that we wanted to read.
I do, yeah. So, Platinum Azure says the concept for this started out as what would happen if we slowed down the famous intro to Blue Water, Blue Sky. I realized immediately that it would make a really cool beach rock sound. I soon discovered Cheryl, who had signed up as an ocarina player. We saw Cheryl playing Piccolo on V-Ron's FF14 track. And I knew I had to get that bright and clear tone in to evoke the sun sparkling off the ocean waves. Roland laid down a phenomenal bass line. Azir chugged power chords like nobody's business. And I wrote my first drum line ever while on a 72-hour time crunch. I had such a fun time breaking out of my shell on this one, and I hope you'll enjoy listening.
Oh my god. Well, that's as good an opening for a listening block as I can picture, folks. So let's
Listen.
Wow, that was incredible. Oh my God. We are joined now by Katie and Mike Shesko. Hello. Mike arranging, Katie performing on that last track you heard for Baldur's Gate. 9 minutes. That is quite ambitious. How did you pull all that off in 72 hours?
It was fun. It was rough, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Tell us more. Convince us that it was fun.
Well, a big thing that Mike really enjoyed about VGM Con last year was the fact that it was over the con weekend. And while we get why it was moved to 2 weeks before, like that was the one thing he was looking forward to doing when we go. Like he doesn't care about my performance. No, he wants to do the album jam.
I am very much the exception that says I was very disappointed when it got moved to 2 weeks before because I can't do anything during that period. Con is my vacation, so
Con's some time when we have time to do the album jam.
So when I went in, I had two ideas that I went in with, and I realized that with the people that were going to be at the con, making that song into like a feature song where people were going to be able to record their own solos, and then I just put out the call for solos, and it was rough finding people, just like I said, because people were not really in the mood to record at the con with it happening 2 weeks beforehand. So I was borrowing, and stealing. The couple people that came through for me, they were really kick ass. Amanda Kavanaugh really delivered with the soprano, and then the other couple vocalists I had in there, Ashley Yonker and Ika Tonga, were amazing. Ashley's actually the one that kind of turned Amanda onto it too. And then we had a lot of people soloing. Mega Dude Tanner, he did the low vocals for it. Shay put in a lot. Shay from Shay's Violin put in a lot of the violin solos, and then she also did an Eru solo and the automaton solo, which was amazing. Xavier played some stuff for me, and then he also did a couple of solos. Juan from JDC Violin did 2 violin solos at the end. Katie put a alto part in for me, and then she did a flute solo and a piccolo solo. And of course, Roland was subbing for the harp part on his bass, and his bass solo was amazing. I wrote it kind of as like a 3-act thing, to where the beginning was the character selection screen. It kind of went to the faster section with the vocals. And then the third part was back to the same screen, but it was like how you were cycling through different bards, and everybody had a chance to solo, and I think everybody shined. Like, everybody really delivered, and it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think backstage you were saying there were about 50 tracks in all.
Whenever I put everything together, I think I was putting together about 50 tracks after all was said and done.
Wow. And especially when everybody is kind of like working remote, you're definitely getting like stuff of different quality and stuff like that. Like, what was it like to actually try and put that all together and make like
everything I did, I recorded at the con. I didn't get any remote. Like I said, because everybody was kind of out of the mood for recording, I don't think anybody remote was even looking at the Discord server. So everything I got, I had to beg for at con.
Wow.
I had to corner people.
Recording at 3 a.m.
I was carrying raw fish and putting it in people's faces and say, record or else I'm going to touch you with this. I didn't actually do that.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, that still, even then, like, there's the 72-hour challenge, and then there's the 72-hour challenge where you're running around a convention center with your equipment and being like, give me the take. I need this.
And my flag too, so thank you to all my salty sharks.
I think it helped too that my performance was pretty early at the convention. I think I opened the hero stage, so like we were done like with work pretty early, which helped. So like I got to sit back and chill like the rest of the convention running around. I was like, oh, finally, I'm the one that gets to sit and like not be freaking out the entire time.
Well, that was truly lovely. Yeah, like you said, I mean, we kind of went on quite a journey with that. I mean, you had 9 minutes to take us on a beautiful path, and yeah, it was really well conceived. Great solos, great performances by everybody. Yeah, that was really incredible.
Yeah, I think it was really nice, like, because everyone improv those solos. It was just like, here's, what was it, 8 bars, 16 bars? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was 12. It was a
12
12
bar.
bar solo.
12 bars. So it was just like 12 bars, just, let's do a couple takes and we'll figure out the best parts of it. And yeah, which is even more incredible because like this was not sheet music. People improv these little solo sections. So I mean, just amazing musicianship by everyone.
As always, the caliber of musicians at VGM Con was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, VGM Con is truly a convention for musicians. Yeah, and then did you have to sit in the hotel after you got everything done and like mixed it all there while you were at the convention center, or did you get that all done?
I got most of it at the hotel. I had a little bit of editing once I got home, but just when I was back on my main rig, I had a little bit of editing. But after that got done, and because we were preparing immediately for our next group of cons too, because Katie had a couple cons.
I've done 6 conventions this year so far. So it was like as soon as VGM Con was over, it was like, all right, time to prep for the next convention. And like I said, we drove from Pittsburgh, so it's like a 2-day journey to get back. Plus picking up the kids and stuff. So
Ian's sitting there poking me on Discord. He's, hey, Jagoff, get this song to me.
Wow, Ian's words exactly, huh?
Yeah. That's totally what I say all the time, all day, every day.
Hey, Jagoff.
But yeah, it's been an interesting first half of 2024 for sure.
Yeah, 6 more months to go, 6 more conventions, I'm sure.
I've got 3 more.
Yeah.
And 2 of them I just picked up within the past 2 weeks. They're like within the next month.
Oh my God. Can't stop, won't stop. Where's Buyscore? No, just kidding. Awesome. Well, yeah, no, epic job with your epic arrangement. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us here tonight as well.
Thanks for having us.
You bet. We'll see you in chat and of course backstage as well. Enjoy the rest of the listening party. Oh my gosh. I see a couple other people backstage as well. But yeah, folks, that was Blue Water, Blue Sky, the Archipelago. Ian, do you want to say a couple of words about that? As long as you're on the path of like proselyting, chained echoes, etc.
Sure. I try to pick tracks for these listening parties based on the theme, right? So this year the theme was summer or something. I mean, it's
Sunshine
on
Resort,
the shore. Yeah, palm trees and a volcano. I guess that's summery for some reason, but
it's minor sunshine volcano.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a palm tree right there, and all year round in December when it's like 60 degrees here. No, but I try to pick something every time, and Chained Echoes isn't really a game with a ton of summery locations, but this is like the beach island area. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take it down, turn it into a bossa nova thing, bossa-ish, adjacent, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, and it just kind of, I always think it's going to be like hard to change the style, but it just really dropped in kind of very easily, and I didn't really have to really play with it a lot. It just kind of fit like that. And I don't know, the composer is Eddie Marianucro, who's like unbelievable, but I don't know if he had that in mind for this and then just kind of sped it up and did his own thing for it, because it sounds very much, the original track sounds like it's meant for the game, right? It fits into that soundtrack very easily, but it also, like, if you slow it down, it just turns into this total like chill Mai Tais on the beach thing, right? So I don't know if that was his intention, but if it was, it worked out really well. So yeah, made my life as an arranger very easy.
Awesome, man. Yeah, no, that track is beautiful. I've enjoyed everything that you've shared from Chained Echoes, which has been quite a lot.
Thanks.
All right, well, we've got, I'm going to say we've got another 5 tracks coming up in this next listening block, folks. We're going to kick things off with Nurse's arrangement of Burning Fighting Spirit. That just sounds like original name for a fighting theme. Don't steal. But that is from Tales of Vesperia. We've got Ian Martin's take on Your Affection from Persona 4. Platinum Azure's A Cat Relaxing in the Sun from The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Score is going to be after that with their take on the Korok Forest theme from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And then we're gonna cap that listening block off with Ian Martin's "Friends Aren't Hard to Find." Good morning from Spectrum of Hybrids. Yeah, without any further ado, let's
Listen.
All right, and we are back. That was incredible. Oh, good mix of tracks there. We've got joining us now Platinum Azure, famous for the track that you heard earlier from Guilty Gear X2, Blue Water, Blue Sky, and also a cat relaxing in the sun. And do you still have your cat relaxing with you, not in the sun?
No, my stupid cat left right before we went on air. Maybe she's camera shy.
Well, camera shy. Yeah, that's okay. We'll forgive the kitty. We always forgive the kitties around here.
Maybe she'll come back. We'll see.
Oh man. Well, let's maybe since you were driving home from band practice, maybe we can start just by retroactively discussing your Blue Water, Blue Sky arrangement there. Yeah, tell us about it.
Yeah, well, I think Ian was kind enough to read my spiel from earlier, but basically, I was just like, what if this song could be slowed down and turned into like beach rock? I don't know if beach rock is a real genre. If it isn't, I made it up. I don't care. But like, to me, like beach rock is like kind of, somewhere. It's like it's adjacent to surf rock, but like kind of slower, 120 to 150 BPM, simpler drums, nice, refreshing guitar stuff, and then like whatever woodwinds or brass you want to make it sound bright. To me, that's what I call beach rock, and that's basically what I went for with this arrangement. And I was thinking originally I'd probably just put like a flute or a piccolo on there, and then I saw Cheryl had signed up with like ocarina. I don't even know how to say the instrument name. I'm going to say ocarina from now on because that's definitely wrong. So I saw she had signed up with ocarina, and I'm just like, oh my god, that would just be like perfect. And I reached out to her, and she was kind enough to record a couple stems on both soprano and alto ocarina, and as well as I probably butchering his name, Asier. And of course, my man Roland, aka Nurst, laying down a sick bass recording. So yeah, no, it was just for me, it was really fun because all of the arrangements I had done before now were for wind quintet, including a cat relaxing in the sun, which y'all heard not too long ago. So this was like me trying to kind of break out of my shell, do something different, and hopefully it came out all right.
Yeah, no, I think it did. I've never heard of the Legend of Heroes, be it Trails in the Sky or any other part of the franchise. What can you say to somebody that might turn them on to that series?
Well, given the audience, I suppose I should start by saying the soundtrack is full of bangers. Here's what I liked about it. I actually, I remember I wrote a blog post some time ago. It was after I started playing Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, but just before that, I had played Final Fantasy 15. And don't get me wrong, that's a good game. Like everything in Final Fantasy is a good game. There are pretty much no bad Final Fantasy games. But one thing I didn't like about FF15 is it just felt like the overworld was so empty. And oh, hey, Cleopatra's back. Oh, sorry. The world just felt so empty and big for the sake of being big. And like even monsters were kind of rare to find, and like you would just get sent on quests where it's like, okay, you're just gonna like walk 2.4 miles through this featureless desert and find this random thing. And basically I compared it in that blog post to both Final Fantasy VII, which did a great job of starting you with like pretty big states, but local, like you're in Midgar, and then before too long, then you're out of Midgar, and suddenly the story expands. You get like a totally different villain, and like that's just in terms of the size of the world that you're aware of. It does a great job of pacing. And Trails in the Sky is absolutely excellent in the same way. Like you start in this countryside town, and you're just like, okay, you're playing as like this brother and sister team, and they have this dad who's like a weirdo, and you're just like doing local things, and they're just trying to like help their town. And then they're like, okay, well now let's go travel to the next town and help that town. And like you just the side characters are amazing. Sorry, I went down a tangent. What I'm trying to say is it's such a great story. The world building is so detailed. The characters' backstories are amazing. You get to care for every one of them. That's what sold me to that game. And it has a turn-based battle system that's pretty fun. Like it starts as turn-based, but like you can kind of change like when when the next turn comes up based on what action you do. So like there's a bit of depth the whole way around, and I just really love it.
Nice. Yeah, you must have loved it enough to arrange a track for it in 72 hours. And you're not the only person to do this, but what was it like to, kind of like take the lead on 2 tracks during that 72-hour period?
Honestly, it was just it just felt like a really interesting opportunity to stretch myself, because it's funny, like even 2 days before the jam started, I was kind of thinking, I still had a presentation that I was trying to put together for a VGM CON panel, and I was like, man, I don't have time for this album jam. I gotta, buckle down and get this presentation done. But my partner actually nursed, was, he wanted to do the album jam, and I was like, well, okay, I'll give it a try, work on 1 track. So I started with A Cat Relaxing in the Sun, because I was like, that was my wind quintet bread and butter. And it's like, okay, fine. This is a nice, easy track, not too hard. And then I don't know, like something just bit me on like late on day 1. I was a bug, a metaphorical bug just bit me. And I was like, oh, I mean, this arrangement's going so well. What the hell? I might as well start arranging a second one. And, if it's trash, I won't ask people about it. No one has to know it exists. And then I thought, actually, I don't know, the arrangement's maybe not trash. I should try it. And before long, like that was all I was doing. And I was up until probably 4 a.m. on like the Saturday night mixing for both of those, and that was not something that I can't do that every day. I have an old soul. I can't stay up so late anymore, But it was a great opportunity to stretch myself. I'm glad I did it. And I guess I would say to anyone who's like on the fence about participating in one of these jams, like try it out. There's so many people that are supportive. They'll help you out. You can find almost any instrument, just because of the sheer strength of the VGM community.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a try. I mean, the worst thing that happens is you don't have a song, and that's the same thing that happens if you don't participate.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I think I saw that on a shirt in the 90s. Yeah.
Allegedly said by Wayne Gretzky. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks. Super glad you were able to make it home and join us for the listening party here tonight. Congrats on both of your tracks.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And we'll see you more in chat. All right. Nurse, I think, are you still sussing out some connection stuff? I see you dipping in and out of the backstage area here. But if you're ready, go ahead and turn on your video and give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, we might have to circle back around and try you another time. That was incredible. We also heard another couple of songs of yours, Ian. We had Your Affection from Persona 4 and Friends Aren't Hard to Find. Is that true, Ian? Have you had a hard time finding friends or not?
Not in VGM. It's easy. You just make people play on your tracks, and then no, I'm kidding.
And then they're automatically your friend. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Awesome.
No, the track was, I think, initially. I should play the game. So that's a track I composed for a game, and then I covered myself. And this is also kind of to find out how the all of this stuff works between like BMI and Sound Exchange and Sound Drop, and I'll report back.
Yeah.
But
yeah, covering yourself, entering some new VGM territory for all of us here.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh my god! Oh, that's awesome. And Your Affection. I mean, I the way you opened that, I fully expected it to be a gamer tag kind of sound. He's on an acapella foot starting that one.
Yeah, it's another favorite of mine. I think I picked up both of Persona 5 and 4 around the same time that Viron picked up 5. And I played both of them, and that track just got stuck in my head. And I was like, okay, works with the summer theme. It's got like some lyric about flowers blooming or something. So whatever, works.
Oh man. Nice. All right. Oh, I think we might have Nursed here. Definitely getting some signal from you. So why don't we bring you on here, bud? Dum-dum-dum. There we go. Nurse, can you see us and hear us? Oh, we can't hear anything from you, unfortunately. Well, shoot, you've been doing a really good job contributing to this album, Nurse. Yeah, heard lots of great stuff from you so far. We heard you on the Burning Fighting Spirit. Yeah, definitely bringing like some heavy rock energy. And then we are actually going to be hearing two more songs from you on the next block as well. Dungeon of the Cave from Skies of Arcadia, and you're also finishing the album with a Star Ocean 3 track. But yeah, no. Again, sorry that we're experiencing some connection problems with you. Yeah, if there's anything you'd like to say about those, please put those comments in chat. And folks, also, if you have any questions for anybody, don't be shy. Just drop those in chat. Just before we move on to our last listening block, I did want to ask a little bit more about the theming. I mean, was that like a soft suggestion? Was it like, hey, if you're gonna be part of VGM Con Sunshine Resort, you better bring the sunshine. Oh boy, yeah.
I think it was kind of recommended but not required. I think we had more songs that were in line with the theme this year than last year. I mean, Oops All Zelda was 2 out of 8 Zelda tracks. So I think we at least had a few more than two that were at least loosely sunshine related or beachy, summery related somehow.
Yeah. Was the sun shining in the level? Okay, great. Are you out in space? There's sunshine out there. Oh boy. All right.
Yeah, they've got
There is a
stars in
sun.
space.
Yeah,
Few of them.
exactly. Oh my god, that's awesome. All right, well, as I was saying, we do have one final listening block for this epic listening party tonight. We are going to be hearing Dungeon of the Cave from Scars of Arcadia by Nursed. We are going to be hearing Ian Martin again with Your Best Friend, Biscotti's theme from Cuisineer.
Cuisinier.
Okay,
Cuisine.
Cuisine
Yeah. Yeah,
Ear.
cuisine. Yeah.
Not this
Yeah.
one, but the like like a buccaneer. Then the Arcadian has a track called "Becalmed" from Sea of Thieves, and then finishing off everything is Nursed with "Confidence in the Domination" from Star Ocean 3 till the end of time. Let's.
Listen.
Listen.
ship, she dreams of wind in her sails, of wind in her sails unfurled, and shining as we cross the sea, we cross the sea for home. Then we'll all raise our voices, a song in our hearts, and set our eyes on distant shores with wind in our sails again. There'll be cheering and calling, no more squabbling and brawling, when we have the wind in our sails.
Absolutely incredible. What a way to close the album as well. Before we get too further, I'm going to say thank you and shout outs to Narthex for bringing your audience on over here to Bonus Stage. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. We've got one of our, what has become weekly Let's Listen parties for the VGM cover community. And thank you, Narthex. Anybody who isn't aware, Narthex does some really killer VGM drumming over on his channel. We rated him last week. And he did like Weapons Factory from Super Mario RPG, which is in 13.8 on a whim at my request, and he did it really well. So yeah, definitely go check him out for some more of that. And hey, who knows? Maybe you'll be on this channel sometime doing a performance or listening party at some point. Yeah, we've got John, aka the Arcadian, over here. Who did that incredible cover from Sea of Thieves, the song "Becalmed." John, do you feel becalmed after performing that?
Do I feel like I'm at a standstill? No.
Is that the definition of becalmed? I just like
It's so I think when becalmed means like a ship that can't move because there's no wind in it. So there's no wind in the sails. So it's basically just like sitting in the water.
Yeah, getting
Which,
captured.
I guess at some point I was like that. So because I've been gone for a while, but
But you're back and coming back stronger than ever.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful arrangement. What made you choose that song?
So I was on the first VGM Con album jam, and during that time it was the pandemic. Everybody was just kind of indoors, and Sea of Thieves was that. My dogs are barking, so if you hear that, I apologize. They're probably gonna be barking a lot. So the Sea of Thieves was that game that I played a bunch. It was a game that like I really got like enveloped into like the whole story. It's open world. You can sail and go to a bunch of different islands and loot treasure and pirate stuff, basically. So whenever we would like my crew, whenever we would sail, there's shanties in it, and Becalmed is one of the shanties in the game, and it has like this insane like story behind it where like the crew that wrote it, their ship had like no wind in its sails, it was stuck in the water, and it just so happened that like everybody was a musician on the boat, so they wrote the shanty in hopes that it would get everybody and they can help them out. I guess a week after they had sent out the shanty, a pirate lord found them and turned them into his skeleton crew. So that was the end of their journey. Well, kind of, I guess, because they were a skeleton crew. But yeah.
The end of their living journey.
The end of their living journey, yeah.
At least having music in their lives. That's incredible. Yeah. Oh man, was this something that you kind of like had in the back of your mind that you always kind of wanted to do, and then this album jam just kind of like was the impetus to actually make it happen, or was this something you chose when the opportunity came?
I feel like the theme definitely helped with the selection of. Oh my god, my dogs are. There's okay. So we were talking about this earlier. There's nothing at the door. They're just barking. I promise.
My dog does the same.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, the theme definitely helped with selecting the song. I wanted to do a Sea of Thieves tune at some point. Becalmed mostly just because of the story, but I mean, there's a version of Row Your Boat on there that's like in a minor key, and it's really sad, and I'm just like, this is dope. And then at some point they did a Pirates of the Caribbean crossover, so like Pirate's Life for me would have been really cool at some point. But Becalmed has definitely been in my like wheelhouse for a bit, and so like to kind of give it that like as close to arena rock sound as possible, I felt like that was probably the most fitting tune out of the soundtrack.
Yeah, no, and you knocked it out of the park as usual, dude. I gotta ask, did you have any help with the arrangement or the performance?
Yes, absolutely. So I've got a list of thank yous right here. So Ian Martin absolutely killed it on this one. We've also got Andrew Gossett. We've got Ashley Junker. We've got Snoopers, Megadude, and This Is JC. They all contributed some lovely vocals, the drums. We did live piano on this, and then I did the lead vocals and guitar work on all this. So it was a really fun track to work on, and it was like with the time crunch that we had, because like I was in like full-time gig mode 2 weeks before I came out to the convention. So I like in the middle of this, I also was gigging I think 4 times throughout the 72 hours. whether it be for myself or with my cover band. And so like this was absolutely insane to get done. So like I'm glad that we finished with what we have. So
Yeah, yeah, incredible. The mix sounds really good as well. Just stellar stuff. Nothing short of what I would expect from you, dude.
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely awesome. And yeah, and thank you for joining us for the listening party as well. Really good to see you, bud. Always
Yeah,
good to
always
have
good
you
to see
here.
you too, man.
All right, cool. Well, we've got Nurse here in a rare moment, so I think we're gonna see if we can squeeze him in and get some words from him. We heard the confidence in the domination from Star Ocean 3, bringing in some prog rock. There you are with us, Nurse. Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about that awesome track that you did? Oh, not getting any audio at the moment. Ah, it's plaguing you, man. Oh, well, if you know sign language, maybe you could sign to us what that track meant to you, and or drop it in chat too. That works. I'm really sorry we're having these issues, Nurse, but just at least some facial recognition. That track was amazing. Dungeon of the Cave from Skies of Arcadia, also Burning Fighting Spirit, and it also sounds like you've just contributed to so many other people's tracks for the VGM Con charity album jam this year. And Viron even mentioned that this was like your first year joining, and the quality of everything that you've done has been incredible. So. Give us a nice little smile and yeah, there we go. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Oh my God. No, but like truly, and as a big prog fan myself, I really appreciated the work that you put on this album. It was really nice to have some of that epic journey and vision in that as well. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get you on the show another time, and we'll be able to hear your voice and hear you speak about your music. But glad you were able to make it in video form at least, and thank you for toughing it out through all the issues and for being in chat as well. Yeah, thank you so much, Nurse. We'll see you in chat. All right, folks, we're almost bringing things to a close here, but before we do, Ian, Viron, I think we have a few more shout outs that we need to do, some credits on this album as well.
Yeah, so probably two people with whom this couldn't have happened, right? First of all, James C. Hoffman, who has become like one of probably the one of the most prolific mastering engineers in the VGM world. On like everything, but did an absolutely fantastic job. Thank you so much. And also Thomas Spargo, who has done the art every single time. Fantastic artwork as always. It's always cool to see something that is actually from the con, just bringing together, right? Like we've got these amazing shirts, and it really kind of like unifies everything. It brings everything together. So thank you for that. We'd also like to thank James Hazelwood Dale, who is sort of our VGM board liaison, who makes this happen, and also Lucas Guimarães, who also has worked on these things as well. So yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
And of course, thank you to everybody who participated in the album jam,
Yes.
both the event 2 weekends before and the weekend of. And of course, thank you, Josh, for hosting the listening party, as you always have. We super appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's always a good time. Talking to musicians in the VGM scene. You said it yourself, Ian. It's not. How did you put it in the song title? Friends aren't hard to find, and it's always really fun to have these listening parties and to speak with our friends about the music that we all love. Yeah, it's just been a really good time. So thank you for that. So this album, again, it's not released yet, so this has been very exclusive. But yeah, we are anticipating it to be dropped on streaming platforms soon. As soon as it does, folks, please go and listen to it. Find it on your preferred streaming platform and just spin it on repeat. Again, the funds from this album are all going to support the P Fund Foundation, and they are still on their Transcend campaign right now to support trans youth in the 5-state area in the Midwest there. And those funds are going to support people with gender affirming surgeries or with education in environments that are not hostile to them. Just a great cause overall. Please definitely go and spin that as soon as it's released. Ian, Viron, any idea where they should watch for the announcement on that?
I'm sure we'll make an announcement in the Album Jam chat channel, and then when Thomas gets back, because he's not here right now, we'll ask him to make an announcement in the server, and we'll make an announcement on the VGM Con socials as well.
Awesome. Definitely go follow VGM Con on social media, folks. That's just at VGM Con. Couldn't be simpler than that. Just for one last hurrah, we'll get all those who are still with us here in the backstage on screen just to give one final hurrah and goodbye. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. We'll spin some house music and maybe select a raid target, but otherwise, we'll see you. Oh, next week, we're going to have another listening party for Raga Records. They're releasing VGM Essentials with Arthur and X-Medic, and it should be a good time. So please come back, same time, same place next week for another Let's Listen. Until then, have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.